Hey guys, Richard, not at Ryden's Room here, and my recording I was just doing that didn't record, so it's basically all for nothing. So let's get to it. So this is the review for Ascension, second to last book, cool Ben and Bizarre pick on the front, of Fate Jedi. Now, barring last week, when I was bringing this home from work every day, I've been leaving out work because, look at it, it's quite big. It's put on a cycle home and it's in my backpack. Even with like clothes, change t-shirt behind it, it's still quite uncomfy. So, barring last week, just because I was close to the end of it, I left this up there, which meant read something in the meantime. So, got all the extra books in the library, like Tintin a couple of years ago, which was great. Finished them, and reading the Walking Dead books. So, funny story about Walking Dead. Got into it in 2017, right after Series 7 aired. Binge Series 1 to 6, then picked up the Blu-ray for 7, or my wife did maybe. God, this chair's uncomfy. I'm also not in my Ryden's room, I'm in the outside because time's run away with me today and I just want to get this book review done so I can put it back in the shelf. Yeah, so I've read all the Walking Dead comic books, got them from the library. With the library, you only have to pay to reserve them if it's being shipped in from one of the other ones. Like, I always go by Milton Keynes Central, but I'd use Wolverton or Newport Pagnell. So I didn't mind, it was quite cheap, only about £1, even though now £1.50 each. So, good deal. And as much as I would have liked to have bought these brand new, they're pretty damn expensive. So, £10-11 is the RRP on them. No, it just says dollars on here. But, yeah, I figured, again, from the library, I could read an order, not paying full price, and just pick them up as I went along. And that's basically what I did. Anytime I bought all these through Amazon, whenever they eventually got dropped, I remember one of the issues, Call to Arms, I think it is, was down to like £5 or something. So I'd kind of just pick all these up out of order, just whatever was cheapest. Like, there's no point buying, say, book one of this for £15 when I could just wait until it dropped to around less than 10, and that's basically what I did. So these particular copies are my second read because, yeah, apart from the final 2 or 3 volumes, I think, somewhere around the late 20s, early 30s is when I actually just bought them. I know the very final one, Rest in Peace, I did. And, yeah, so those ones I would have read, but the bulk of them, no. The only ones I read were library copies, so it's nice to actually have these. So yeah, well, I'm doing the same thing with my current book, Star Wars, The Song of Ice, Fire and Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It's the next show that's being adapted, comes out this year, part 1, The Hedge Knight. I don't know what else of it. Maybe it's all free. I think it's 3 volumes in that book. Yeah, that's getting the same treatment. That's not a hardback. It's fairly normal size paperback, but it's quite nice being a new copy again. I only read that from a library originally, so it's the first time reading that. So I'm leaving that at work, which means more time to read these at home. So yeah, I'll eventually have some sort of big review on all of these, because it's been good fun reading through these again, actually seeing all the differences, the story designs that the show adapted, but with different characters, etc., or just copied exactly, or made up, didn't use at all, etc. Yeah, so I'm meaning to do some sort of mass review on all these eventually, but I'm not sure when. So, on to it then. So, Fate of the Jedi. Now, I said in my one for conviction, like Aaron Alston is his weakest Star Wars bit of work ever. Actually, I might not have said that. It was his weakest Fate of the Jedi. You know, I even enjoyed, as much as I hated Legacy of Force, his work. So I've always said, much as I hated the general's plot, the authors did the best what they've got. Well, exception perhaps of kind of Travis with Mandalorian Obsession and Troy Denning, showrunner who made all these things happen. But I always said Aaron Alston wrote amazingly. You know, he did the best with a terrible hand. And I said the same thing about book 1 of this, and even book 4, but not book 7. And I feel the same about this. I like Christine Golden's writing. I think she gets Ben and Visara's teenage romance well. Like, I remember I was doing like a part of a fan project for writing, and I got to like the romance. Anyone remember the show Animals Farthing Wood? Remember the really monstrous fox Scarface? It was like a prequel project a bunch of us on the official forum were doing. And yeah, I got the honour of writing him falling in love with the fox known as Lady Blue, and I was just thinking, I had no idea. Even though I was very similar to that version of Scarface's personality. See, before it becomes a complete monster. I still struggle to write like convincing romantic dialogue from a like shy, awkward fox, and yeah, it's just something some people are good at writing, some people are not good at writing, and I feel Christine Golden does a good job of this, but much like Aaron Alston's last book, I just feel this is just worse and worse. Again, the ultimate project with Fate of the Jedi, well, 2, spoilers for everything up to this point, it's dealing with my most hated Star Wars plot, which is Jason turning evil, you know, basically doing what his family fought against, or because he fought turning the government into a dictatorship will somehow end all wars, which just makes no damn sense whatsoever. And there's just so much wrong with that series completely. And yeah, the one with this is it's picking up pieces. The main starting plot was, why did Jason turn evil? Let's find out. Well, they basically got their answer by this. Vergere, who was a Sith god Legacy Force, made sure he'd end up that way. That's it. So basically it's her fault. Poor resolution. Again, I don't know how much that is because in Golden's, is it Troy Dennings? Is she just wrapping stuff up that he was not going to want to deal with in the last book? Because Invincible was horribly rushed at the end, and hopefully Apocalypse won't be. So yeah, you've kind of got that. So that's a major issue. The whole point of this storyline was obviously finding out why Jason did what he did. Other than, well, Luke wanted to understand it better. Other than that, he wanted to stop the Dark Man killing Luke. Then it suddenly became the Dark Man involved with his daughter on a white throne. So that was changed because Jason, I'm sure, it's been a while since I read Dark Nest. If he knew about Lana, I don't think it was Dark Nest. I think it was like, either way, it's just them changing Jason's motivations for what he did. So this does a frankly terrible job of wrapping up that storyline, which is not great. And of course, the other plot is Vestara, who basically forced to kill her dad when he comes to kill her and decides she wants to be a Jedi. And basically by the end, she's practically returned to her old self. There's a huge Jedi team on this planet. It's even the dark side, find some sort of monstrous guardian. It's basically comes down to it was going to kill Ben's friend, or her, and she's like, Ben's not going to die, so she sacrifices Ben's friend. It feels horribly like Jason did to Nilani in Legacy of Force 1, which to me was his sacrifice, not Mara. It's that. And yeah, it's just like that. It's like, oh yeah, Vasara loves Ben, but she's basically wanting to kill an innocent person, even though she thinks about it. I would go just fought together, maybe we'd have beaten it. Who knows? And is this just a sign all the good work pushing Vasara to the good side is gone? How is she going to explain this to Luke, who's willing to, accept her on the Jedi path, even take her as this open student? No, that's awesome. And yeah, where is this going? Is this going to do with like the Legacy comic, which basically sets out the future which they must stick with? Even though from what I've heard, John Edding didn't necessarily want to, but you'd think they would be. I don't know. So yeah, that's quite poor. So let's go for the basic plot of the book. So Coruscant, everything happens there. Again, I despise that Coruscant is perfectly livable when results of the war against Yuuzhan Vong meant it's read it'll be decades until they can actually live there again. Notice as if nothing ever happened. The lower levels are like how they used to be. There shouldn't be any higher levels. Should all be one level. You'd think about buildings that are destroyed. And it's basically prequel era again, which is what Legacy of Force did so terribly with. It's just basically try to make the sequels the prequels, and bad idea. So yeah, so much goes on in Coruscant. Luke decides the Jedi should all leave, have no part in politics whatsoever. They can better serve people, and love it. Makes perfect sense. So again, they shouldn't be on Coruscant because it shouldn't be livable. Yavin 4 isn't. I have to reread it, but it's become impossible to live there. But they have got the temple on Ossus, which I know through the Legacy comics is a major Jedi temple site, so I assume that's where they're going to, or somewhere else that I didn't actually say. And then this turns out it's a plan. Luke is just moving more Jedi away, so that the Sith, which are infiltrating Coruscant, can move there, and then Luke will be able to strike at them all when they're in one place. Makes perfect sense, but I do hope he's been sincere about them. They can't be part of politics, they can't be living on Coruscant. They do something, I assume the whole Coruscant is one giant sissy planet. There's not, much in the way of natural life, barring off the people, compared to, say, Dagobah. Nothing but naturalness there. It's not the nicest place for Yoda to end up living on. And I assume that's like Luke's general plan there. But I hope the whole leaving Coruscant isn't just a trick to get the Sith there and wipe them out. Obviously, that's what they got to do. But I hope they're not going to move back in. It makes sense for Jedi not to be based on Coruscant anymore. The Sith have somehow been infiltrating Coruscant for 3 years. I was just chatting to her. She's one of my Instagram friends about this, who's a big Star Wars fan. How exactly could the Sith do this? Like, the Sith only discovered there's more to like the universe than Kesh 3 years ago at the point of this. So a year. So when Vestara would have been 13. In that whole time, meant to believe that a few Sith have become, or well, at least one, but probably more, become senators, know everything about galactic politics. They've got, they can use their force mind control powers on people, but they're using like how they create forged documents. How to like people know who they are. You're becoming a senator. You can't just. It's not like Doctor Who, when the Master uses his series 3 spoilers here for Doctor Who. The Master uses his powers to basically make people think he's someone else. A guy who's been alive for like 30 odd years, and it's of course all lies. Only a few people catch on. Most of them else just has killed. Unless it's something like that, there's no way Sif could have done this. And this is the issue. Like, I was on the Jedi Council forums and talking about like the politics, or rather the complete lack of. It's like Chief State does everything, and the Senate's just there. Well, in this book, the Senate is more than just there. They're actually doing things, but it feels too late. Like, book 8, where was all this stuff at the beginning? And yeah, it just all springs back to too much going on in these series as well. Legacy Force had way too much for 9 books. Should have gone on a lot longer and covered more than a year. This has got a similar thing, except there's not really enough plot, so then they suddenly start putting more and more in. Like, ultimately, it's Luke and Ben leave Coruscant. Luke takes one for the team. Takes 1 or 100 for the team. This is where this was like probably edited. You'd see a clip of Negan talking about how his victim took 1 or 5 or 6 for the team. So that the Jedi don't suffer. Luke, leaves. He takes exile from Coruscant. Now that Dala's gone, he can return. But it made perfect sense. I liked it. It's a good act of self-sacrifice for Luke to do that, which is lovely. And yeah, Ben goes with him because, well, Ben needs a story. Basically, like Jaina with nothing to do to these last books. Jaina's so unimportant in this. She didn't even get to be on the cover. She needs to be on the back of the hardback for Apocalypse, which is just frankly wrong. So where was I? God, what was I saying? Been up since like 6, and it shows. Yeah, the Sith have basically infiltrated Coruscant, so we'll call it the Master's Howard Saxon power. With this that thing he did in Doctor Who, back when Doctor Who was a great show, much like Star Wars when that used to be a great thing. So the stuff are basically taking over. That's it. Too much going on. Yeah, you've basically got all these politics suddenly happening. You've had the whole conspiracy of the Moffs plotting to kill Jag and take over. That's finally come into a head, but it's still not resolved. And again, great to see politics at last, but we shouldn't have had this because that's it. Yeah, too much going on. So Legacy Force basically told this huge war, and it was just done within less than a year. This ultimately had one major plot at the beginning. Have Luke find out why Jason did what he did. Like, was he going to do this during the 5-year gap? Again, why we didn't get any books written on this, I'll never know. I hate the jump between NJO, Dark Nest, and Fate. Like, all these great events we could have had told, we didn't get them. Why? What would be the harm to at least give a duology of Jason's travels, something, for example, before Dark Nest came out? I don't know. And again, Dark Nest, a trilogy, that's what it needed. And I feel like this and Legacy could have massively cut a lot of stuff down just to be a trilogy each. But they didn't. 9 books, which seems a lot, but Legacy Force had way too much going on and badly needed more. I mean, particularly the ending. After Jason's death, it's like 10 pages. Oh yeah, Dala, you're Chief of State now. Yeah, and Han. Oh yeah, she'll be great. He's obviously forgotten about the Jedi Academy trilogy books. And of course there's other stuff she's done, but I haven't read those books. And this is a similar thing. It's just, why did Jason do what he did? And then we discover this creature called Abeloth, and the Jedi act in Luke's absence, trying to make peace with Darla or just get by. That's not enough for 9 books. And then they just throw the Senate stuff in out of nowhere, and it's like, come on, or Boba Fett showed up in the last one. Tell you, if that doesn't involve him and his daughter having a cure so they can return to home planet, what's the point of Boba showing up whatsoever? Oh yeah, had to put him on the back, of course, legacy character. You don't really care about Boba Fett at this point. Ignoring what the damage Disney did to him with the Book of Boba Fett makes no sense after how he is amazing in Mandalorian Series 2. Why did everyone love Boba Fett originally? Yeah, he looked really cool. Great design. He was, we heard about all the great things he did, but we didn't see a huge amount. Yeah, he caught Millennium Falcon against all odds, did a nice little trick, which turns out Obi-Wan did in the prequels. But yeah, to me, it's kind of just an action figure. Looks cool, but I'd have loved to have seen more of why he's so awesome, why everyone thinks he is, why Darth Vader's respects enough not to kill him for trying to interfere with Han being frozen in carbonite in Empire Strikes Back, but that's another story. So, yeah. Too big a story in Legacy of Force, not enough books. This is the complete opposite, and they should start adding stuff in. So yeah, on to the final part then. So, like I said earlier, Jane has been completely wasted, and she really has. But this no longer choosing, actually having 2 potential boyfriends. It's just Jag now, because Zex moved on, which is great. So he actually pops up in this series a fair bit, which is pretty cool. And yeah, Jane is kind of just there. Yeah, she helps her, Luke, and Ben take out 9 Sith at once while Vasar has to kill her dad, which is awesome. I could just only visualise her and Luke working as this team, taking out 6 Sith Lords together, or Sith Sabers, which was just so cool. And yeah, Jaina should be in the future of Star Wars, but it's this they've just shifted to Ben, and it's really frustrating. Yeah, especially with the covers for this series. I mean, Luke and Ben appear on practically every cover. Okay, not practically every, but if you add the back covers, it really is. And yeah, you got Tahiri on the cover for the last one. Okay, it's all about a trial, but you don't need to do a huge amount. And Tentacle Car on the back of that one, similar thing, she does even less. This one, Ben and Vestal together, which is good and all, but they've each had their own covers. It's probably too much. And then, of course, Apocalypse is a disgrace to put Luke that doesn't even look that much like Luke. I don't mean the bad facial design as an NJO, I mean the body type. People have said it looks like it's Obi-Wan's prequel era body with Luke's head stuck on, and I kind of agree. But yeah, Luke's been on way too many covers. As great as he is, you know, that's too much. You know, Jaina and Jag on the back of Apocalypse, which is cool, but if you didn't have hardback, if you had the paperback, you wouldn't know that, because I've seen the paperbacks. Yeah, they don't, because I've got half of them. Yeah, so what a waste of it. Oh, maybe we would have got Sword of the Jedi in a couple of years. Should have been on the cover of that one, but we didn't even get that. Anyway, so yeah, the final part of this, blimey, it's a long video, a lot of ramblings. The actual apocalypse that's coming is because of the character Abeloth, you know, the big monstrous creature can take on form, mainly of Luke's ex-girlfriends. Has tentacles, mind controls people, takes bodies, you know, and every time you seem to kill her, she just is fine. And that really bugs me about this being 9 books. It just dragged it out so much. Like, and is Abeloth ever going to die? They just keep having her killed and she just keeps surviving. Like, come on. And now, yes, she's basically the most obvious reveal ever, becoming the chief of state of the Galactic Alliance. So, yeah, we didn't know that. Of course, it was actually killed the Sith Grand Lord. Like, yeah, that's clearly her in the new body again. While Luke and the rest of the Jedi were off hunting on these planets, and Abeloth was just constant the whole time. They not know that. Like, they left Leia there. Tahiri was there till she went off with Jag. Imperial Knights found her. I can tell you, I swear that was always the plan. Again, that's a legacy spoiler-ish. Yeah, like, why not just go to their Jedi Temple and then attack Cotton knowing Abeloth was there? Surely the Force, Luke would feel it. It's like, I was thinking of like Ken Pamela's death, and basically how Luke felt must have been how Yoda felt at Mace Windu's death. You could just feel like the dark side just gaining power, and like a terrible thing has happened, and that's forgotten about by the next one, which is bloody frustrating. You know, Ken Pamela got done so dirty in these books. Amazing final battle, but overall, yeah, what the hell? Luke didn't take an Jedi to task for it. He just basically forgave Saba, and that was it. So yeah, Vestara is basically on a good side, but turns to bad side. Ben gives a good Force slap early on, which I guess is meant to be abusive, but who knows? In this book, morality in this era of Star Wars books is all over the place. The Jedi all leave Coruscant. The Sith have somehow infiltrated Coruscant, like that, even though it shouldn't be possible. And yeah, Abeloth is, of course, then planning to become a goddess. So the final book is, of course, Apocalypse. Luke having to stop her. So many loose ends to fill up. You know, how can the Lost Tribes get away? What's by the end? Who knows when I get there? But yeah, really disappointing this book. I just feel like it's slightly longer than the last ones, which is good, but it just got worse. Whereas I was struggling with the end, and yeah, let's hope the finale sticks the landing. I don't think it will, but yeah, that's it, and I will see you for the next one next time.